Turn it up.
What is happening, YouTube? Long time no see. This is Joe here, Team Plus with Us. Coming back with diving into the meta. Sorry I haven't been on for a while, guys. Kind of been busy between school and work. But now that I'm on winter break, a few free time, so hopefully we'll be getting some videos up and all that good stuff for you subscribers that, kind of been wondering where we're at. But for this week's episode, I'd like to talk to you guys since we are getting into the off season in Yu-Gi-Oh. Go into a little thing like a halftime report kind of deal, in which I want to talk about the past in this format and the future in this format to see what we're going to see in the second half of the season, and so on and so forth. So let's dive right into it. Beginning of the season, I think what was very interesting in this format is the playing field was very level. You saw a lot of what some people call rogue decks come out of the woodwork and top at events, whether it be regionals or national YCSs. You saw a lot of different variety in the decks that were topping. People were a little bit upset about it. I know a few guys that looking back to the Teledad format, where if you wanted to win, you ran Teledad, and it came down to the cards you drew, how good of a player you were, and that's how you won an event. But to me, I think a show of skill is the ability to top with anything. I think that keeps the game healthy myself. But that's just my view on it. And I wanted to throw some examples out there for you guys. Before, at the very beginning, you had Nareg Terosian top the YCS with Chaos Zombies, and it just basically ran 3 Spirit Reaper, and it was amazing. Nobody had seen that deck for a long time, not since like DS Fighter and stuff like that. So it was cool to see. There was also a Madolche deck that top before Tiramisu was even out. There was Dinosaur, Drakwiba, Hydrogeddon, Lagiadolka deck that ran Shrinks and Forbidden Lances that top. And yeah, I would consider that a very sacky deck. But the dude topped with it, and I can't blame him for that. There was a lot of us out there that haven't even topped an event. So, to down somebody for that is not selfish, but it's like ridiculous, seeing as he did something that a lot of us haven't even done. So my hand goes out to him. That's pretty cool too. But then you get closer towards the halfway point, and you get the release of Abyss Rising, all the Mermail cards, the structure deck, Rise of the Sea Emperor, release of Prophecy cards, things like that, and you grew back into this format where we are right now, where there's only a few decks that are dominant, and if you want to win, you should be playing one of them, and that would be, at this point, in my opinion, between Macro Rabbit, Prophecy, Spellbooks, all that good stuff, and Mermail Atlanteans. You'll get a few different things in there, there's Inzectors that have topped, there's Heretics and Chaos Dragons. There's always going to be that. There's always rogue decks regardless. You're not just going to get a format where one deck is going to win it all. Teledata and it's the closest thing I could even think of to that, because Dark Arm Dragon was such a ridiculously powerful card. But you look now and you're going to get a rogue deck one way or another. You look at almost every event, and there's something in there that kind of is off-putting. And I think it's funny, so far this format, with the change, how heroes went from being really, really popular to being very rarely played at all. You see very few hero decks top, and I think that is one of the reasons for that is they don't have the best matchups anymore. And so yeah, I think that's one of the reasons that they aren't as relevant as they were at the beginning of this format. Another cool thing that you see, because really card choice hasn't changed entirely too much. The decks with the packs that have come out have changed, but I think it's funny, for at the beginning of this format you had such a hand trap based um, defense. Like there was I mean, if you weren't running 2-3 Max C, effect veilers, things like that, Tragodia, Gores, you were at a disadvantage. I mean, your opponent could go off in one turn. I mean, remember when windups was used? I mean, windups are very seldom seen these days compared to Mermail Atlanteans. I mean, that deck has completely taken hold of this format. Um, but yeah, I mean, you've gone from an era where hand traps were key to a point where there are very few hand traps being run at all. The only one being that I think is completely viable is Max C, just because I mean you can gain advantage off of it, but sometimes people even just run through that. So I mean you're looking at something that has changed within months within a format where semi-limited and limited cards haven't changed at all. The availability of new cards have just come out, and it has completely changed the chemistry of the format. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about between all of that stuff, and I think it's kind of cool seeing that change, and it makes me wonder what's going to happen for the future until March when we get that ban list. And I think it's easy to say that I think things are going to stay on pace. I think Mermail Atlanteans are going to keep it up, because that deck has so many outs to so many different things. It can play aggressive, it can play conservatively. It's a well balanced deck, and it's showing that how well it is right now. But seeing that we are at the halfway point, I think now is a good time to start thinking about what could be on the next Forbidden Limited list in March, and what may or may not come off of it. I would love to see some of the synchros come off of it that are on there, just to put synchro play back into Yu-Gi-Oh! I know that's not Konami's number one thing, just because they want people to buy new product. But I honestly think synchros kind of got shorted on their lifespan in the card game, because I think it's a very cool idea, and I think it's very innovative, the synchro idea, rather than XYZs, which to me are, I mean, clearly they're quicker, they're more powerful, but it'd be cool to see something like a Goyo Guardian come back off that ban list. And I would love to see some of the Mermail stuff limited, just to, because I like seeing a level playing field in Yu-Gi-Oh! I like seeing rogue decks come up and people that have been playing decks for a while, and know how to really play them, and even if it isn't the best deck, they top because they know what they're doing. And I think that's something cool that you can find between luck and skill in Yu-Gi-Oh! So I would like to see what comes on and off the ban list. It's kind of sitting in the back of your head, right now, just because it's around the corner. You might not want to make too many commitments to a huge deck right now. Mermail Atlanteans, it's a pretty pricey deck. But if Abyss Megalo gets hit, I mean, its price is surely going to drop, kind of deal. So, I'd like to see something cool, different happen with the Forbidden Limited list. Another huge change. I mean, we saw in this past one, the viability of plants grew when they, when they unbanned Spore and put to Breed Dragon to 2. So, I mean, that's kind of cool. I'd like to see something else like that happen, where you could see an old deck become viable again, just to put something different in the mix. So, thanks for watching, guys. Please give me some feedback. Let us know what you guys want to see on the ban list, anything like that down below. Like, comment, subscribe. Sorry about the lack of videos. Like I said, I've been busy. But from now on, for the next couple of months, you guys should get weekly regular videos. I'm going to try to come up with a new segment. If you guys think of anything that you'd like to see, because I know there's a lot of Yu-Gi tubing out there. I know there's a lot of really, really great channels out there. If you guys want to see something that you haven't seen, please feel free to PM us or something. Let us know. We'd love to get ideas from you guys. Other than that, thank you for watching. This has been Joe with Team Plus or Bust, signing off. Thanks, guys.